Howdy folks, how are y'all doing? My name is Rees, and welcome back to the Minecraft 2025 Let's Play Adventure, where today we are going to be picking up where we left off last time, a phrase that I've said many times, and often followed up with not doing what we left off on last time, but we are going to be continuing work over here on the terraced garden idea that I had. I really like that idea. It was between that and putting down the sand for this bit of the island extension, and I just didn't want to do that today. I didn't want to have to place, 6 blocks of sand to create a little slope here and carve out a bit of the mountain. I didn't feel like it. I didn't want to do that. And I know that we left a bit of a tease in the previous video about shaving off this part of the mountain right here. I know that I talked about that. Here, I'll tell you what. I don't want to leave that hanging. Let's just do like a tiny little bit of alteration here. There we go. You know what? That's not enough, and it's probably going to look silly from a distance. I doubt if that's really fixed the issue. You know what? No, it has made it look substantially better. That tiny little alteration. We'll do more in the future. We'll do more to make that less of an abrupt, like a right-angled breakage, or whatever you would call it. None of those are correct. Right angle, yes. Square, even better term. Breakage, don't know what it means. Don't know why it came to mind. But today we're going to be doing this. And I guess I wanted to talk about some of the things that I thought while I was editing the episode, like why didn't I turn the log sideways here? That probably would have looked good. Also, I got a comment from someone who mentioned that there are mud bricks, so I have to turn this off in order to get this to work over here. But they were recommending that mud, I think packed mud in particular, looked really good with stone paths. Also, apparently, there is a recipe for cheesing dirt. I got this comment a couple of times, where you can combine gravel and dirt together to get coarse dirt, and then you can hoe the coarse dirt to turn it into regular dirt. So that's kind of cool, but you need a lot of gravel. We don't even have a whole chest full of gravel, and I don't want to... it's a great recipe, and it's good to know. But then the problem becomes that you have to have dirt and gravel. And we're going to run out of gravel long before we run out of dirt, because I don't even have like a double chest full in the basement. But it is useful information to have for the future. Now, what I was trying to figure out is what exactly we want to farm over here, and how extensive we want these farms to be. Because we've talked about setting up auto farmers. And if we're going to set up auto farmers, we really don't need a whole lot of like farming terraces. But then I thought, you know what, maybe this is one of those good for the soul sort of things, where it's not actually about it being practical, it's just about it looking good, right? So we have one of every plant in Minecraft growing in one of these little terraced pods at all times, and we can harvest them if we want to, but mostly it's so when we have company over, we can bring them down here. Like if you've ever seen that movie, whatever it's called, I think The Interview, where they go to North Korea and they have the fake shop set up with the food and the fake fat kid, and they're like, look, our people aren't starving. Basically that, where I can bring people down here and say, look at all this food that we grow here in our terraced garden to feed the villagers. But we don't. We don't feed the villagers. They live their entire lives inside of these little pods. Well, that's odd. We just buy things from them. It's a fantastic system. They don't get hungry, and so we don't worry about it all that much. But as for how this is going to look, the last thing I want is a real proper grid. I don't want this to look too good. So obviously, it's such a strange way of phrasing that, wasn't it? Obviously, there's like, can I just break that and get the seed? Yeah. Well, we got the seed for one of them. I wonder if using the hoe would be the better move. Or does it make any difference at all? I got the seed off of one of them. I doubt if it matters. See, I got 2 seeds there, 2 seeds there, a seed there, and 2 seeds there. So maybe it does matter. Maybe it did in fact matter. I'm not sure. But we could do... if we just had water, 1 block of water in the middle, we could go up to 4 blocks in every direction for big 9x9s and have all the plants there. But that's going to take up a bunch of space. And depending on how big we want to make this, that's not a bad thing. But we just got to be clever about how we do it. We got to think really long and hard about our approach here. Because words are difficult sometimes. Words can be difficult. Let me go ahead and just take everything down. Everything that's currently in the way is going to get removed right now, including, you know what, this very long-standing temporary farm that we built. Remember when we built the wheat farm, and the discussion at the time was that this is just temporary, and we'll maybe automate it or do something with it in the future, and then we just never did that thing? Well, today is the day, my friends, that we finally take it all down. It's all going away, and I'm feeling a little bit nauseous from what I'm doing right now. Hopefully you're not getting nauseous as well. Some shiny, shiny dirt. Very shiny dirt. Okay, fill in some dirt. We actually need to go get some more. I don't actually want to get rid of these seeds. We got to use them for the replanting process. So we need two things. We need grass and we need stone so that we can build this structure up. Stone because we like a good firm foundation, and dirt because 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have some of it, and we are going to go ahead and leave the seeds here for now. So let's say we have our path come out to right along in here. How big do we practically want these things to be? Do we want to go the full 9x9, or do we want to shrink it down to like a 7x7, or maybe even a 5x5? So something like this, like that right there. That looks pretty decently sized, but do we want to have them be just bare patches? Like when I talk about being terraced, we might actually need more stone brick. Or we could go with mud bricks. Actually, what do we want the design aesthetic to be down here? Do we want it to be stone brick or mud brick? Mud brick seems more gardeny, but that's a bit of a process to get to a mud brick. First off, you've got to have mud to get to mud brick. And in order to get that, you need packed mud. And packed mud requires that you have... Well, first off, I'm having trouble getting my buttons to work properly to show me how to make things for whatever reason. But you need wheat and mud. And then in order to get mud, we either go dig it up, which might be the easiest thing to do, or you right-click on dirt with a little bottle of water. So we'd have to make a bunch of those, which then we could use to make the bricks, which then we could use to make other things. You know what? We have a bunch of stone blocks, so we can just use those, and if in the future we want to change to mud bricks... Actually, you know what? Let's just go see if there is a bunch of mud. I'm assuming there is, over here at this forest. It feels really weird not being able to see it, but have we done this before? Something about this flight to the mangrove forest feels really familiar. Like we've done this exact thing for this exact purpose. Maybe we weren't going to get mud, but we were flying over here to get something. This feels weird. This feels like deja vu. I miss Distant Horizons, and I'm kind of at a point now where I feel like we're not going to be updating like this in the future. We've been kind of willing in the past to go ahead and rush an update knowing that, you know, a couple of things aren't going to be there, but I'm thinking in the future we're not doing that anymore. Oof. The weather is rough here right now. This place looks very creepy. Oh good, it's raining here. Not right here, but here. We're going to be very respectful of our mud collection. Okay, we're going to try to like carve it out of the environment in such a way that it doesn't look too obvious that something is missing. It makes a really gross noise, is what I'm learning as I collect it. Splat, 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 splat. Gross. Oh, hello. Sorry, I really have no business here with you. So remember that thing I said about, like, carving it out of the landscape? Well, what we can do is we can come back later, and we'll worry about that. Like a multi-billion-dollar company who's just like, we'll come back later and remove the harmful chemicals from the water. We promise. Oopsie, we forgot. Oh, okay. Yep, no, we're good. We got mud now. Let's get home. I think I'm going in the right direction, but I actually have no idea. I'm back over the ocean now. I thought for sure home was over here, but I feel like I've definitely gone too far without seeing it. How do you play there it is, yeah. How do you play Minecraft without Distant Horizons, or at the very least a map of some kind? How do people do it? How do you... I guess it's the way we've been playing Minecraft for decades, isn't it? Alright, let's get inside and try to make up some of this new mud. Fortunately, we have an abundance of wheat. We have so much wheat that we don't know what to do with it all. And we just combine it together to get the packed mud, which is a cool, fun block that we've never had before. Okay, then! That's fine, because we can just do this, and we'll have a couple left over, and that'll give us the mud bricks. We're not going to turn them all into mud bricks, though. I'm going to keep 4 of these, because I kind of want to see what they look like otherwise. Can you make other? No. It's just the bricks. The bricks can be made into stairs, which I think we might want to make a few of, because I want to see how those look. They can also be turned into walls, which I think we want to make a few of, because I want to see how they look. For some reason, 12 is what we go with. 12 is the a few of that we seem to be referencing. I think we should go to sleep, because I don't think this will be a fun thing to do in the rain, in the dark. Oh, look, a rainbow! God's reminder that he'll never again flood the earth. Unfortunately. Let's go ahead and see how we feel about using this as the sort of border. And actually, where do we want the border to be? Do we want it to be right up against there? Actually, now might be as good an opportunity as any to try to stick the border up underneath there. How does that look from this side? Huh. 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 Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I definitely like the difference in color. I'm not sure if I necessarily like that as the block that goes underneath here. What about the mud? I can't believe that this is still something that I'm torn up about and trying to sort out. Put rotten flesh in here? Does that work? Yeah. What if we do just put grass there? And for a moment, we just accept that. What if we just stop rallying against that and we accept that that's what that is? And then so on this side, we have this. Well, first off, we're going to run out of the mud brick. I like how we're just building with the mud brick now, when the whole plan was to see whether or not we even liked it. And it's like, no, I'm charging forward boldly. Now, typically, we would probably pack the underside of this with some type of material that would be good at drainage, so we don't have, like, water issues inside of our crops. But we're just going to put solid stone under here because this isn't the real world, and I only sometimes care about pretending that it is. Also, I did not go far enough over this direction. Too much stuff in my inventory. It's making it very difficult to work down there. We are going to get the loot box, and it's going to be our source of dirt and excess stone, and maybe we need muddy mangrove roots. I don't know, but it's going to be a great place to store things that we don't need at this exact moment, but that we want to keep with us. And then we can come over here, and we can grab, first off, that doesn't belong in there. We can grab more of it, and we can convert it all over into wheat, and then we can use that to convert all of this over into more packed mud. And then we'll convert basically all of the packed mud into the bricks, because I feel like that's probably what we're going to end up using. Balance that grid is what we wanted to do. And then we're going to bring a stone cutter down there with us, because I think that's going to be handy to have. Is there anything else that I need? A water bucket. Hey, everybody's got a water bucket. Oh, yours is fat, but mine is slow. Where'd you get them? I don't... Wait, no, not fat. It's fast. Yours is fast and mine is slow. Yours could be fat, but it just doesn't make any sense for me to call mine slow and yours fat. Especially when we're talking about water buckets. Hey, everybody's got a water bucket. Oh, you know the reference. Don't pretend like you don't. Everybody does not have a water buffalo. Would you rather, if given the opportunity, have a water buffalo or a Cebu? This is an important question. Cebu. You've got an either you know or you don't. I can't tell you, but you know what I mean. You know what I just realized is that if I now put the mud brick wall here, gosh darn it, there's always something. Listen to the sound of walking on this. It's like a hybrid between the slosh of mud, but I feel like occasionally there's a bit of a ringing, sort of almost like a tile sound. All right, here we go. We're getting there. One step by step, we are making our way towards our goal. So now we can add the water, and this time, since there's water, when we hoe it up, it won't automatically convert back to regular dirt. It should stay, like, once it becomes moist, at least. It should... Hey! Moist! Everyone's favorite word. Something I had the idea of was that we have sort of, like, retaining walls around some sides. If there was a drop like there is here. I'm not really sure how necessary that is. Do we like that? We might like that. Yes, I think we do like that. The question is, how far do we take it? Do we then have, like, because these blocks here... Like, what do we do about these blocks here? Probably nothing, honestly, is probably what we do. We probably don't do anything about them. And then we have the fence that goes around the outside, except for the side that you get in from. We desperately are going to need more. I have a feeling that I'm going to be going back to that gosh darn mango swamp mango. There are no mangoes in Minecraft. You know what I'm getting at, though. I'm going to be going back there in order to probably deal with this issue in the future. We'll worry about this strip here later. For now... Let's figure out what to do next. First thing, we're not going to go... First things first, I definitely want this to be a little bit of a different build. So what I'm thinking we do is we actually have this over here be a smaller one. So if this one is for, say, wheat or something like that, I say we make tiny ones for things like pumpkins and melons. Hey, does the water need to be on the surface, or can the water be underneath it? I feel like this is something I used to know. This is information I used to have long ago that has since abandoned me. So let's say we put water there, and then on top of that, we have the dirt. Will any of that go back to being just wet farmland or whatever it's called? We'll have to keep an eye on it from over here. Although now that I think about it, does it really matter if this is wet? I don't think the wetness of the farmland matters for things like pumpkin and melons. I could be very wrong. And in fact, I probably am, so don't take my word for it. Nope, that did not work, can confirm. Alright, so if we want to have the farmland be properly, like, wet farmland, like watered farmland, we will have to add a water supply. Ooh. Ooh. I mean, we don't need any of this, but while we're here... So here's what we're going to do. We're going to have 3 pumpkins, or 3 melons, and then we've got whatever this little one is here. And then what I wanted to do, because I don't want these to be symmetrical in any way, I want it to be almost a little bit chaotic. So it's going to come down here and it's going to have a step down. And for that, I was thinking we could use here we are, the slabs. Apparently these look pretty good with the paths, and we're going to find out right now. Yeah, I suppose so. I wish you could just make packed mud slabs. I think that would be cooler. Heck, we might make this road in the future out of just packed mud and have this whole thing be a packed mud construct. We've obviously got work to do on this side, because I want the packed mud to go all the way down. But for now, this is in the way. And we've got to relocate this entire mechanism. We will probably set it up again kind of in this area, because this is where we need it. No reason to relocate it or anything. So if we build another one of these kind of like right down here, where it's literally right here, I think that would look pretty cool. Also, I really like this song. I love Minecraft music. Minecraft music is great. So here we go, and it's a little messy with that back there, how that transition happens. But you can sort of start to see what it is I want, what it is I'm going for. Hello! What have you got? Nothing I really need, nothing I'm really interested in. Well, I suppose there is one thing that I'll be needing. Da, 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 da. What do you think about the place? You're standing right where future generations of melons are going to be grown. And this over here is where the wheat is going to be. And I'm thinking about beetroots over here. And then carrots and potatoes. That's where I'm at right now so far. I've got to go get those things and make sure that's all the plants. Because there might be more plants in Minecraft than what I remember. Well, I have no clue what a torch flower is. Beetroots, melons, pumpkins, wheat, carrots, and potatoes. I didn't mean to pause the game. No, I didn't mean to do that. Whoa, buddy. Okay, we need more mud. I just remembered that there's something else. It's the nether wart. It's gonna go here in this little pocket. Gosh darn it. Get more mud. Back we go. I can't really say that it's finished because a part of me looks at it and thinks, okay, there's clearly, by the way, this is sad. This stuff has been here for how long now? And we're finally moving it like we said we would when we very first constructed it. My goodness. But here it is. And I'm quite pleased. It doesn't have as many tiers as I sort of thought that it would when I first started constructing it. I imagined it would go down like 4 different layers. And looking at it, I think if I had to do it over again, I would put this one layer down. So I'd put it on this tier and have it be sunk a layer lower. But the problem is, anytime you do a transition, it's like, this is the transition? And I'm not the biggest fan in the world of it. It's not bad. It just looks a little rough to me, and we might end up replacing all the dirt path with mud bricks, or maybe even just mud slabs. That could be an interesting look. Where we go down another layer and have the mud slabs be just half block next to the bricks that you step up to. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and lower this one, like I just said. Do I really like mud bricks? Do I regret not going with just stone? Like, I like the mud bricks, but maybe they belong somewhere else. They don't match the rest of the house aesthetic. We could have done a different project somewhere else with mud bricks. Do I want to revert it all back to stone? No. My head is literally in my hand as I try to process what I have done. All right. We can change it later. We need lights. It's getting dark and we need lights. So we don't want to overcrowd lamps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them kind of in the corners. Something like that. And maybe very rarely in a place like that. So we can get enough light down here that we don't get monsters spawning, but that we're not kind of overdoing it. Because I could put a lantern on every corner, but I think that would be a bit much. Okay. Time for the planting. Finally, at long last, it's time to actually put... I mean, I guess I could have planted each one as I went, and then we would have, like, you know, plants already, which would have been nice, but too late. Melon, melon, melon. Pumpkin, pumpkin, pumpkin. We will likely never harvest another wort from here because we have so many that we're not using, and we don't need as many of them as we currently have. Obviously, carrots are going here. Potatoes have got to go over here. I'm actually out of potatoes as well, so that's all we're getting. Beetroots are going to go down here. Oh. I guess I need beetroot seeds, don't I? And I even have them, so what did I bring beetroots? Wait a minute. These are beetroots. Mistakes were made. There's the pumpkin seeds. They look similar. Not really. Don't bother me. Don't at me. Alright. A place for everything. These grow fast. Goodness. A place for everything. And everything planted in its place. I like it. I think it turned out pretty good. Would I change some things? I am starting to think that I might have should have just gone with stone bricks for the design and kept it consistent with, you know, the rest of the house and the build and used a mud bricks somewhere else for something else. But I do like the way that it looks. Only things I would change at this point, and things that I probably will end up changing. This is a little rough here. Might have that be mud bricks all the way down, or backfill in some dirt. This didn't end up being a repeated design aesthetic here, the stairs, so we'll probably get rid of those at some point. Or try to find other places we can incorporate them. Like, we could probably do more stairs on this side if we wanted to. Not fill in dirt here, but rather kind of continue this design if we felt like that was necessary. We could do the same. Like, it doesn't really make sense to need stairs over there when you don't have them over here, and instead we've got just... It just goes straight down into the ocean. Now, when I have much more mud brick, I would like to come down here and shore these down all the way. Connect them all the way to the ground. But we were kind of running low on mud brick. But I don't like that they stop under the water here. So I'll have to collect more mud brick and deal with that later. But that is it for now. At long last, after all these many months, we finally have a proper garden. And I think it's swell. Until next time, thank you folks for watching. God bless you, and I'll see you later. Goodbye!